Hi, good humans. I'm here with unboxing. Well, it's not technically an unboxing. It's a unwrap it, an unfurling, if you will, a revelation of space, as we say in the theater, of the Lifeline Tarot by Thomas of Hermit's Mirror, who I was lucky enough to get to have a chat with on Instagram. Oh gosh, maybe a month or so ago, and whose work I really like, and I'm including this in that work that I really like. So this is a fun, really delightful. I'm going to read you the back of the deck. I've been this is not like a complete and total revelation to me. I've seen many of the cards on Instagram, etc. Oh, I need my coffee. I was not prepared for that. I was just so excited, and I had like my lunch break now. Normally, when I wait to do an unboxing, it's like I have to wait until work is done, but I'm on lunch. And the mail came. So let's just get that out of the way. So let me read the back to you. Life is messy. It doesn't travel in a straight line. And even if you have the general shape of it, it's easy to get lost in the details or worry about what's not there. Embrace a little structured chaos. Lifeline Tarot takes Pamela Coleman Smith's 1909 illustrations for Waite's original Rider Tarot deck and strips each card down to a single continuous line. It's familiar yet strange territory, and that's the perfect place to find the answers you need. However you use tarot, this deck works for you. Focus on broad strokes when you need a little direction. Lose yourself in the abstraction when you want a deeper connection. When you're bored, play a game. Life is hard at times and serious, but it's also uncomplicated and fun. Let your tarot deck join you for the whole journey. Now, you know that this is on my mind a lot because I talk a lot about how tarot started as a game, and that I really, really, really feel strongly that we shouldn't forget that. I think it is part of its innate nature that it was a game. Lenormand 2, Kipper 2, like all of these things started as card games. And a lot of what people have used for divination throughout history have been playing or gambling devices like dice, or anything that can be randomized. So I think that, I'm down with, like, let's have a little fun. Like, I think tarot is serious, and I think you can do serious work with it, and I think, especially for students, or even pros who, like, start to get burned out, like, it's a game, and sometimes we just need to, like, remind ourselves that we play with tarot as much as we define with it. So I love that description. I also love the box has this very matte sort of art paper feel to it, which is a very satisfying quality. This did come wrapped, but I wanted to check it out. So there are some extra cards in the back that have some things here. So there's a little card that there's a digital guidebook, which I know Thomas is, I think, nearly ready to put up online, if that makes sense. And then there's some information about his classes, which you should check out. There's a Lifeline tarot spread, and then a great self-portrait and a little bio. So I'm going to leave the link to his website, hermitsmirror.com, but if for some reason I forget, it's hermitsmirror.com. So here's the cards, and I love the back. How dope is that? Now, I've been talking a lot about decks that I've been drawn to recently, things like the Marco Benedetti, even the Lazy Crow Tarot, that are very streamlined and very distilled, and this is one reason why I was super excited about that, because this feels like a delicious distillation of the cards, which, again, like, I don't know if it's because the world is so chaotic right now. My mind is certainly chaotic right now. I mean, I was talking to a friend the other day, and we were trying to describe how we're feeling, here at the year mark of the pandemic, and I'm like, I feel like I'm becoming unsensitized. Not desensitized, but, like, my sensations are sort of being undone. Like, we've gone through so much, our bodies are trying to stop feeling anything. So, anyway. So this is based on the Rider-Waite-Smith. So, you know, like in terms of like the images, they'll be very familiar, I think, regardless of your position on your timeline in your tarot journey. There's also a quality about this. This is going to probably sound really weird, but one reason why I like this, and when I see the images, is that because these are drawn in one line, but also because of the kind of like pen quality, there's a quality that this reminds, this is going to sound so stupid, of wax, of dripping wax on a candle, which is going to sound strange, but to me when I was a kid, like that was one of the most beautiful things. Like I was obsessed with candles. Probably this is my latent Catholicism coming back. But the way candle wax would drip down a candle, to me, I always thought was so beautiful. And there's this sort of quality of that is reminiscent here. So here we have the Fool and the Magician. There's there's a word, an artistic word I'm reaching for, and I don't know what it is, but you can feel movement in a line, and that's another thing I think that you get from this, is like there's a sense of movement and grace, but it's you know, it's not so it's not so digital that it feels perfect. You know what I mean? It's like it's graceful, but also you can feel the hand, and that's to me always really important. So it's like I want to kind of know there was a person involved in the creation of it. The Empress in Rider-Waite-Smith is one of my favorites of any deck and any card in any deck, and I think that this is great. Distillation of it. I love distillations right now. That's what I'm all about. Also, this playing card-sized deck is great because you know I love big spreads. So it's perfect. The other thing I look for in a simple or distilled deck, or really any deck, is that I know immediately what I'm looking at. And that is the case with this as well. So I'm really drawn to it. I think it's really kind of wonderful and simple, and oh my god, I love this Hermit. And also just to sort of you know, an appreciator of people and what they make. It's like like my mind can't fathom how you know how to sort of get where you're going when you start your line, how you're gonna get this to happen. You know, so like the math almost of, or the forethought of how you achieve with one line such a iconic image, especially for something as complicated as the Wheel of Fortune, which, you know, like in the Waite-Smith and a lot of decks, it's not traditionally my favorite. But there's something here that is like, wow, that's really impressive, because that is not a simple image to achieve with a single line. The cardstock's nice too. It reminds me of playing cardstock. There's a slight linen quality to it. Oh, this Hangman's great. Ah, that's great too. You know, I talk about elasticity and neutrality in a lot of my walkthroughs of decks, which is another thing that I'm really passionate about, because, you know, when I read The Devil, I don't read it only as addiction. So, you know, I'm just going to plug my new book here. I've decided to self-publish it. You know, I just came to the conclusion that makes the most sense for me and the audience I'm reaching for. But one of the things that I talk about in that book is that the image on the card is not the card, and I made a video about this. It is part of the card. It's a tool we use to interpret the card. There are times to me when, yes, the devil has that entrapped addiction quality to it for sure, but there are times when it also represents sex and sexuality. There are times where it represents just sort of our primal nature as animals existing in the world. And so, you know, there's an elasticity to these distillations. You know, I know that people don't like when I say things like this, but every artistic interpretation of a tarot card is a value judgment on that card. You know, you can tell a lot about how an artist feels about a card based on how they've chosen to interpret it. A classic example is one of my favorite decks for readings, the Japaridza. You know, the decision not only to interpret the Emperor as war, but also to rename the card as war, tells us a lot about the artist's impression of that card, or their feelings of that card. And so, it's a definite choice. You know, I don't like to have those decisions made for me. I like the art and the card to give me space to discover what they mean in context. And so I think with decks like this, especially for a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you do get more maybe elasticity than you would in reading the classic, the OG, because it is more distilled. It's less a value judgment. It's less an imposition. Now, so here's the thing that I really love, which is that the number cards, the pip cards, have these kind of playing card adornments on the sides. So that makes my little pip card heart sing. But just look how clean and beautiful that is. You know exactly what card that is. But it's just this sort of like, it's like theater. You know, it's like you know, in a play, well, I guess this isn't true on Broadway or whatnot, but like when you go to a play, you have to fill in some of the gaps with your imagination because, you know, in a play, in most theaters, they can't afford to give you, you know, the movie experience, and so they give you the essence, and your mind activates and fills in the blank. And you know, this is going to sound so weird, but you know, and this is going to make me sound like an old curmudgeon. One of my favorite pieces of theatrical writing in the world is the play Our Town. If you know theater, you know this play. It is a chestnut, and many people think of it as a rotten chestnut. You know, it's old, it's musty, it's very kind of creaky, and it's you know, Americana. And yet, when you get past that, there's this beautiful story of life and death. The last act rips my heart out. But there's no set or props in the play. And there's this moment in the first act where the two mothers are stringing beans. You know, they're just pulling the string, the little membrane out of beans, and they're not doing it for real. They're miming it. And what's so breathtaking about those moments is that's what the play is about, is those little moments, these conversations between people, these throwaway little events. You wouldn't notice that they were doing it if they were doing it for real, but the fact that they're not means that you're paying attention to what they're doing, you know, in a way that they're not even doing. Because they're so used to it, but you're fascinated by it. And you realize through moments like that in the play that those are the moments where life lives, you know? And so by stripping away all the artifice, you know, the writer, Thornton Wilder, opens up our imaginations to give us this kind of Virginia Woolf moment of like, Mrs. Dalloway of like, oh, the most important moment in life is every moment. So there's, you know, a very long thesis to get to how distilling something and stripping it of its artifice can really open you up. And so, you know, that's what to me is exciting about things like this, you know. And also, I'm just going to say this, you know, in this card, this really removes the colonialism from the card, which I think is kind of necessary now. I also, you know, oh my god, this is so cool. I haven't seen this one before. That's dope. You know, I'm just sort of dazzled, too. Like, I'm dazzled by the creativity. I'm dazzled by the ability to say, okay, I know when I start this line where it's going to end. There's something kind of so precise and adventurous about that. I don't know why, to me, but it's like, I can't imagine knowing how to do that. And so sort of, I don't know, it feels kind of so zen in a way, which maybe is a dumb thing to say. That's just really rad. This is rad. You know, I mean, there's just no way around it. It's super rad. In a way, those cards that are so distilled... Like, I think that Two of Wands may be my favorite one so far. Pentacles. See? Like, wow. Like, yes, you know exactly what card that is. And it's just a total, like, revelation. Oh my god! You know? How cool is that? Again, like, oh my god. There's a statue that shows up online all the time, and it's like this ghost statue of, like, a soldier on a beach. And it's very this. It's very sort of, like, distilled to just, like, this... I mean, it's iron or copper, but it looks like just like a whisper of fabric. You know, and the mind fills in all the details. And this is what this reminds me of. I mean, come on. Like, you know that's the Five of Pentacles. It's, so cool and so creative. Yes. Things like this just make me really happy. They make me really giddy. Because, again, it's creative and it's sort of, it's riffing on the Waite-Smith. It's not a, you know, we've got that deck, you know, so it's like, let's see what else that deck can give us. Oh my god, I love this. This is one of my favorite cards in the Waite-Smith. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck. So cool, so, you know, just delicious. Oh, whoops. Also great. So good. So fun. The Court of Pentacles is my favorite for some reason in the Waite-Smith. I always thought the Knight of Pentacles was hot. It's such an on-brand thing for me to say. But like the richness of the greens and the reds and the yellows in the Waite-Smith is really exciting. Here we have Cups. This is so cool. This negative space in cards like this is so alive. You know what I mean? Like, that to me is what's exciting about this one. Look how cool. I mean, it's so cool. I'm just like gagged. Look, I mean, yes. 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 Yes is all I can say. It's like a ghost. I don't know, but like in a good way. It's like the memory of it's like it's like that, like, you know, a smell suddenly drifts by from your childhood and you're like, remember that moment? That's what I'm feeling when I see this deck and I think about tarot. You know, it's like the flavor of it. It's the memory of it. It's like the ghost of it, but like totally usable and totally awesome. Oh my god, I love this. I love that. Yes, so good. This is great. I'm really excited by this. Really a lot. Very cool. Oh, I like this. I like that it's not a heart. Thank you. Thanks for making that change. It actually looks like the world, which I think is very cool. Oh my god. Ugh. Yeah. It's just so tasty. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. I thought I had seen more of the cards than I had, but I guess I haven't. But this is just so delicious. I just want to lick it. Oh my god. Yeah. So good. I'm laughing with joy. Like, I love being surprised too. That's the other thing, is like, how cool is it to just be like, that's awesome. So this deck really has theater to it for me, which is like so exciting. And it's, or like poetry. There's like you know, in theater and poems, it's different from a novel or a movie. You only have so much time and words you get to use. There's only so many things you can do in the space that allows for a poem or a play. But you still get the whole experience. And in many ways, it's often more alive because you're more engaged, because it's not doing all the work for you. And I feel like this has a similar quality. So here we have an extra card, Labyrinth. And then this is, I don't know what that would be. I'll have to ask Thomas. Does he say? There is a book, like the digital guidebook, so, you know, also I can come back and look at that. But this is so much fun. I'm going to take the extra cards out for a moment, and I just want to shuffle and do like a spready poo. So let's zoom out. So, you know, because of the playing card stock, this is going to shuffle well. Let's give it the old riffle, shall we? I do find with tarot decks that are playing card size, to get a decent riffle with playing card stock, you do have to be a bit more assertive with it than you might with other decks. Now, I am not fussed by that. I am rough with my decks. You know, They like it, I like it. There's, a mutually beneficial relationship there. But if you're afraid to get rough with it, then I recommend overhanding, which is delightful. But yeah, I mean, riffle shuffle is great. You just have to you have to get in there and say, yes, let's enjoy that riffle shuffle. Let's also lay out some cards. The Devil, after what I was just talking about there, is a totally appropriate thing. I think this is going to be hard to see because of my lighting, but I will zoom in because it's small enough that I can. And I want you to see it. If I can't get it to give you a good quality video, then I will insert a photograph. This might be okay. I will... positioning of the camera is so annoying. Oh, God. Just everything's so hard. Anyway. Gorge. Isn't that... Oh, my God. I love it. So exciting. So creative. So theatrical in its way. And just... I don't know. I'm like... I knew I was going to like it. I didn't know I was going to love it. But I love it. So, bravo, Thomas. Hermitsmirror.com. I will put the link in the description. Go check out his channel and his Instagram and get this deck, because I love it. I think we're going to see this everywhere. And we should. So, bravo, gorgeous work, so exciting, and be good. We'll talk soon.